New reports saying Apple is looking to shift iPhone production out of China. Steve Kovach with a closer look at the pivot as it looks to avoid tariffs. Steve, this was the administration's plan.
Not necessarily, because not out of China. They would have preferred to see it go from China to the U.S. What we're seeing now, though, Sarah, is Apple is planning to make all iPhones that are sold in the U.S. in India instead. That's according to a report overnight from the Financial Times. That would equate to about 60 million phones, more or less, that are sold here in the United States every year. Now, look, India does not have the capacity to pull this off yet, and the Financial Times is reporting this is likely not going to happen for at least another year or so. And supposedly, in a backdrop of all this, there's a trade deal in the works with India and the United States as well. We know, of course, Vice President J.D. Vance met with India Prime Minister Modi earlier this week, and there's some other reports about some progress in talks there. But look, Apple is going to need to ramp up very quickly in India. They only made about a fifth of global iPhones in that country last year. A lot of those also are just sold domestically in India. And by the way, Apple began this expansion years ago during COVID after learning that tough lesson during China's lockdowns. China obviously has that very efficient supply chain for Apple, but it is so susceptible to geopolitical instability and, of course, trade wars that like the one we're in right now. Not what the White House wanted here, guys. A U.S.-made iPhone just isn't possible right now. We've been talking about this for weeks. We're seeing this production shift instead to India.